just what you need right here at Venue Wash Media. Call it the Midas Touch and you wouldn't be wrong. Let us record, produce, mix and master your audio like nobody does. Reach us on our contact today for the best quality job.
Trainings and lively seminar discussions, all in a comfortable and friendly environment. For more information, email us at info@adstudiescenter.com or call +234 912 039 2362. Visit our website www.adstudiescenter.com to explore our programs and upcoming events. African Development Studies Center, rethinking development for Africa.
Human achievements, goal setting, hard work, and dedication have been proven to be some of the elements towards success. The journey of remarkable individuals with lasting impact on the world are often filled with manifold stories, but through determination, they build their lives and make extraordinary contributions. Join me on the story of a trailblazer in business and philanthropy, Aiboje Ig Mokwede, a lawyer turned banker who has done well for himself, made an indelible mark within the banking sector, and has continued in his ambition of touching lives within Nigeria and across Africa. Aiboje Ig Mokwede. Within the Nigerian business space and philanthropy, few names resonate and are respected profoundly. Such is Aiboje Ig Mokwede. If you're just watching, kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel for more great documentaries. Like, share, and comment. Known as a successful business mogul, banker, investor, and a philanthropist who cares about making difference, Ige Mokwede's story is one of hard work, creativity, and a desire to drive positive change across Africa. Born to civil service parents on September 24, 1966 in Ibadan, Oyo State, Nigeria, he hails from Sabongida Ora, Edo State. Iboje spent his formative years with his parents in Lagos, where he had his primary education at St. Saviour's School. He enrolled into Federal Government College, Kaduna, and at age 16, he was admitted to study law at the University of Benin, where he graduated at a young age of 19 with a law degree, displaying early signs of his exceptional intellect and drive. Called to the Nigerian bar in 1987, he started his career in 1988 as a lawyer at Continental Merchant Bank during his National Youth Service Corps NYSC year. In 1991, he joined Guaranty Trust Bank PLC GT Bank, where he rose to prominence as an executive director. His big moment came in 2002 when he led the acquisition of Access Bank, turning it from a small regional bank into a big player, a banking powerhouse in the industry. Throughout his career, Ige Mokwede has taken on different leadership roles, including Group Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of Access Bank until December 2013. He later became President of the Nigerian Stock Exchange and retired in 2017, but remains on the National Council. Bowing out of Access Bank, he was given a befitting send-off.
No man or combination of men could transform what we met in Access Bank in 2002 into what would cause this type of people to come and celebrate today. It's not possible.
His foresight and managerial acumen have brought him chairmanship and directorial roles in prominent organizations such as African Finance Corporation, Associated Discount House Limited, Petrolon Energy, among others, thereby contributing greatly to their growth and sustainability. Hard work, they say, pays. Ige Mokwede's hard work earned him many awards and honors. He received the National Productivity Order of Merit Award in 2009, conferred with Commander of the Order of the Niger CON in 2011 by the then President of Federal Republic of Nigeria, Goodluck Jonathan, during his administration for contributing to banking and finance. As a visionary leader, he was installed into the E&Y World Entrepreneurs Hall of Fame in 2011 as the EY West Africa Entrepreneur of the Year and named African Banker of the Year in 2013. These amounting to how much others values his leadership and ideas. He got honored by Chartered Institute of Stockbrokers of Nigeria. Beside his work, Ige Mokwede also gives back to society. This philanthropist is involved in efforts to improve governance and healthcare across Africa through his Ige Mokwede Foundation, making a positive impact on people's lives. He initiated the Adopt a Healthcare Facility program in 2019, and he is the chairman of ABC Health and Director of the Private Sector Health Alliance of Nigeria. He is the founder of Chairman of Coronation Capital Limited since 2015 and has contributed to the growth of the Coronation ecosystem. Coronation Capital Limited, with other arms of its businesses, also bettered Coronation Art Gallery in Lagos on the 13th of May 2022, a platform for showcasing exceptional works of art that embodied the essence of cultural significance and artistic expression. Aigboje Ike Mokwede founded Coronation Art Gallery with the vision of democratizing art, foster appreciation and understanding for the artistic world, and making it accessible to a wider audience.
Bumi Augusto is, I knew Bumi when she was born. I know her parents and I know all her siblings. She's a beautiful, wonderful, gifted Nigerian artist, and just like many of the others here. The piece behind me is a triptych, long throats all up to longer throats. I actually thought that I was going to caption this collection. This is really a microcosm of my entire collection, but I was going to capture it longer throats because this represents a lot of this collecting I did during COVID. Many of these pieces actually were not in Nigeria. I brought them home. I'll tell you something. I'm known for collecting masters, the Enwonwus and the Yusuf Grillos and so on. I still do, okay? And I kind of stuck to that genre of classic. Those are the people who, when I was growing up, as I told you, those are the people who were my parents, either just older than them or contemporaries. So I grew up knowing these artists as my uncles, okay? So my first collecting was, from works, done by masters like that. After a while, these works are really priced in. But Bumi Augusto, her works, which may appear even a bit pricey now, in 10 years' time, So this is also hosted by Coronation, which are companies that are all about wealth creation. So there's also the investment angle. I don't collect for investments, but with all that these great Nigerian and African artists, the young ones, have been doing, and the way their prices have been rising, I've got to focus on investments now.
He collaborated with the Nigerian Civil Service to digitalize work processes and public service delivery in October 2021. Recognizing 43 public servants at the 2022 Civil Service Award ceremony on behalf of the Ige Mokwede Foundation, with an encouragement of cash prize worth 500,000 naira for each awardees.
It is my understanding that annually 43 public servants will be recognized in this fashion, and so with effect from the 2022 Civil Service Awards ceremony, on behalf of the Ige Mokwede Foundation, we will be putting an endowment with effect from this award session, whereby each awardee receives a cash prize of 500,000 naira. And in the interest of digital culture, the credits will go directly to your accounts.
Among his many certifications, affiliations and fellowships, Ige Mokwede holds Triumph MBA from the London School of Economics, New York University and HEC Paris. He attended
Now, this is the world news on Souq News Television, reaching you live from our studios, bringing you global business, economy, and developmental stories making the headlines. I am Oyin Priya Kurmale. The governor of the Bank of Ghana, Johnson Asiama, says treasury bills rates are on a downward trajectory, signaling a positive development for the country's economy. Asiama stated this at the 2025 National Economic Dialogue with a focus on the need for coordination between the central bank and the fiscal authorities. He stressed that while declining treasury bills are beneficial, they could trigger a rise in exchange rate volatility if not properly balanced. The Bank of Ghana governor, however, cautioned that the country must be vigilant as this could exert pressure on the city if not carefully managed. Now, Morocco's central bank, Bank Al Maghrib, has issued a warning alert calling out on media content promoting a fake investment platform linked to the bank in the form of a press article. According to the central bank, the media content fraudulently uses Bank Al Maghrib's identity as well as the image of its governor attributed to artificial intelligence mechanisms. The Apex Bank said the media content has made false promises of financial gains associated with the alleged investment platform, noting that the article's claims are entirely false. Bank Al Maghrib also promised to take all necessary cautions and actions to protect its image and rights, saying it has in recent years issued similar statements to deny such fraudulent schemes. Now, Kenya's private sector maintains growth. In February, Kenya's Purchasing Managers Index (PMI) has revealed that the private sector remained stable in February, expanding at a similar rate to January. The index rose slightly to 50.6 points from 50.5 points in the previous month, signaling continued growth, particularly in agriculture, manufacturing, and construction. However, wholesale, retail, and services sectors experienced declines. Despite the growth, business confidence remained weak, with only 5% of surveyed firms expecting output to rise above the next year. Now, as the world reflects on the efforts to reduce armed conflicts in celebration of this year's International Day of Disarmament, our correspondent examines the significance of disarmament, its impact on global security, and the challenges ahead.
And non-proliferation have been vital in maintaining global peace and security. The easy availability of weapons, from nuclear bombs to small firearms, fuels conflict, endangers civilians, and slows down development. To address these concerns, March 5 is observed annually as the International Day for Disarmament and Non-Proliferation Awareness, promoting education, dialogue, and global cooperation to reduce the risks posed by weapons and war. Since the establishment in 1945, the United Nations has prioritized disarmament to prevent wars and promote stability. However, major challenges persist. Despite international nuclear weapons increasing the risk of conflict, the illegal arms trade fuels violence, terrorism, and crime, particularly in the war-torn regions. The use of explosive weapons in populated areas leads to devastating civilian casualties and humanitarian crisis. Meanwhile, the rise of autonomous weapons and AI in warfare presents new, urgent risks. Recognizing these threats, the United Nations General Assembly designated March 5 as a day to raise awareness and inspire action towards global disarmament. The theme for the 2025 observance, Fostering Global Collaboration for a Safer Future, emphasizes the need for countries to unite in controlling arms and preventing conflict. Strengthening arms control laws, promoting disarmament education, and advancing diplomatic efforts are crucial steps towards a safer world. To mark this day, governments, international organizations, and advocacy groups will organize various activities, including educational workshops in schools and universities to discuss the impact of weapons and the importance of peace, expert panels and policy discussions to explore strategies for global arms control, awareness campaigns on social media and through community outreach programs to highlight the dangers of excessive weaponry, and exhibitions and documentaries in museums and institutions showcasing the history and impact of war and disarmament efforts. The International Day for Disarmament and Non-Proliferation Awareness serves as a powerful reminder that reducing weapon stockpiles is key to lasting peace. By prioritizing education, policy reform, and international cooperation, nations can move toward a future where security is achieved through dialogue, not military force. As the world observed the International Day for Disarmament in 2025, the call for unity grows louder, urging countries and individuals alike to play their part in building a safer, more peaceful world.
Now, a preventive terrorism expert and chief executive officer of Trust Intelligence and Security Solutions, Temitope Oludo, has described and decried the spate of armed conflicts, insurgency, and proliferation of small arms in Africa. Mr. Temitope made this known while speaking on the Front Burners, the flagship program on Souq News Television. According to him, the International Day of Disarmament focuses more on nuclear weapons, saying the scope should be expanded to incorporate sensitization on arms dealings and other forms of insecurity.
The purpose of today is to try and roll back on, owning nuclear weapons. But even in the House of Parliament, when they were talking about it, you could see that while the whole party were, both the Conservative and Labour Party were saying we're speaking with one voice with regard to Ukraine and we're going to raise our fund, they were actually accusing the Scottish Party for talking about, rolling back on nuclear weapons. So the issue here, unfortunately, that in Africa, we have 44 countries that have already signed off to making the continuation of Africa being a nuclear-free, continent. But, we must not kid ourselves. Weapon is still being used. We saw what happened in Gaza. We saw, it's not just about that, nuclear weapon alone. It's about weapon, free flow of weapon. And we know how free flow of weapon, even from Libya, has entered into Nigeria and causing mayhem on our streets, and our government cannot control it, or they don't have the capacity, to work in the speed of light as other nations around the world are, because whether we like it or not, crime is increasing. Nobody's talking about armed robbery anymore. People are talking about kidnapping. People are talking about terrorism. Our trains are not safe. Our roads, you can't travel at night as I used to travel, during my school days. So there's a lot of issues, and we need to find a way to reduce the flow of weapons in our continent, on our street, so that we could all, go to bed with our two eyes closed.
Now, the International Day of Disarmament is commemorated over the 5th of March to draw attention to the irreparable effects of the use of nuclear weapons. Now, this is the world news on Souq News Television. Still ahead, Arab leaders support Egypt's $53 billion Gaza plan. Please stay with us. Welcome back, and many thanks for joining us on the World News. Now, over now to the Middle East, where Arab leaders have adopted an Egyptian-led reconstruction plan for Gaza, which aims to rebuild the war-torn enclave without displacing Palestinians. The $53 billion proposal, which was revealed at the Cairo summit, offers an alternative to United States President Donald Trump's controversial Middle East Riviera plan, which had sparked global condemnation for suggesting the relocation of Palestinians. Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi also emphasized that the proposal had been coordinated with Palestinian leaders and was designed to restore stability, according to reports. Now, major stock markets in the Gulf opened lower today as fresh United States tariffs and retaliatory measures from Canada and China fueled fears of global trade war. The new 25% tariff have raised concerns over economic growth and inflationary pressures, prompting market declines across the region. Saudi Arabia's benchmark index fell by 0.4%, while the main index in Dubai declined by 0.4%. Abu Dhabi's index dropped by 0.1%, and Qatar's market lost 0.2%. The United Arab Emirates business experienced an increase in new orders last month, driven revenue and profit growth. The construction sector remains a key driver of the economy, with developers focusing on project completions to attract investors. However, job creation remains subdued, with most firms maintaining current employment levels. Away from the Middle East, oil prices have declined for the third consecutive session as OPEC announces plans to increase production from April of this year. Brent crude fell to $70.059 per barrel, with the United States West Texas Intermediate dropped to $67.52. Meanwhile, investors are closely watching for the United States government data on crude stockpiles to assess the market's next move. Now, Brazil is doubting or doubling down on its push to reduce reliance on the United States dollar through BRICS Pay, a digital payment system backed by the alliance of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Despite a 100% tariff threat from the United States President Donald Trump, Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva remains committed to de-dollarization efforts. Reports indicate that over 50 countries are prepared to accept BRICS Pay, bypassing the traditional SWIFT system. Still in the news, South Korea reviews U.S. tariff impact. Please do stay with us. Now, South Korea's acting president Choi Sang-mok has ordered a review of the impact of the new United States tariff on Canada, Mexico, and China, which took effect this week. He also directed officials to prepare support measures for South Korean businesses operating in these countries and to engage in consultations with the U.S. ahead of expected reciprocal tariffs next month. The directive followed United States President Donald Trump's address to Congress, where he defended the tariffs, arguing that South Korea's average tariff rate was significantly higher than that of the United States. New Zealand's central bank governor, Andrew Orr, has resigned. His resignation leaves the Reserve Bank of New Zealand without a permanent leader amid the country's worst economic downturn in 3 decades. Mr. Orr, known for his bold and often unpredictable policy making, frequently clashed with Finance Minister Nicola Willis. His departure comes as the government reviews the Reserve Bank of New Zealand's funding, with Willis suggesting potential budget cuts, according to reports. Now, Germany has suspended its new development aid to Rwanda. Reports said the German government is reviewing its commitment due to Rwanda's alleged support for the M23 rebel group in the Democratic Republic of Congo. However, Rwanda has denied the accusations, insisting it is only defending itself against Hutu-led militias operating in Congo. China has placed a consumer spending at the top of its economic agenda for 2025, shifting focus from technology and industrial production. Premier Li Qiang, in his report to the annual parliamentary meetings, announced a special action plan to stimulate domestic demand as the country targets approximately 5% economic growth. New measures include expanding trade programs for cars and electronics, as well as issuing of 300 billion yuan in special treasury bonds to encourage spending. Meanwhile, China has announced plans to accelerate its renewable energy expansion as part of commitments to reduce carbon emissions by 2030 and achieve carbon neutrality by 2060. The National Development and Reform Commission, NDRC, reviewed a series of major projects, including offshore wind farms and new energy bases in desert regions to boost clean energy generations. However, analysts warn that China may struggle to meet its 5-year carbon intensity reduction goal by the end of 2025, as the country's overall energy efficiency has not improved significantly. Now, football pundit Jamie Carragher has addressed criticisms over his previous comments regarding the African Cup of Nations, which many perceived as dismissive. The former Liverpool defender came under fire after suggesting that Mohamed Salah's chances of winning the Ballon d'Or were slim because he was not competing in a major tournament, referring to the African Cup of Nations. Speaking on a broadcast show after yesterday's Champions League, Carragher acknowledged that his choice of words were poorly phrased, saying he would never want to be described as an ignorant or disrespectful pundit. He explained that his points were based on historical trends in Ballon d'Or voting rather than a personal opinion on African Cup of Nations significance. The football pundit said he was clumsy with his description of AFCON, while trying to clarify that the tournaments such as African, Asia Games and Gold Cup do not resonate with the people who vote for Ballon d'Or. Now that's it on the world news. I am Oyimpriye Krumale. Many thanks for watching.
Just what you need right here at Fanny Wash Media. Call it the Midas Touch and you wouldn't be wrong. Let us record, produce, mix and master your audio like nobody does. Reach us on our contact today for the best quality job.
What keeps the heartbeat of a community alive? Is it the courage to create, the power to connect, the vision to transform? Well, it's all of these and more. It's a symphony of ideas, innovation, and industry. But where do these stories come alive? It's right here on The Isle, 104.9 FM, the station where dreams meet action and growth finds its voice. The Isle, 104.9. Business, economy, development. Stay tuned.
At the Africa Development Study Center, ADSC, we are committed to driving sustainable growth and development across Africa through innovative training and research. Our mission: empowering leaders, policymakers, and professionals with the tools they need to create lasting change. With customized training, dynamic research programs, and study exchanges on leadership, management, and other critical development topics, ADSC offers a platform for exchanging cutting-edge ideas and global best practices. We provide comprehensive services in research and consultancy, capacity building and training, education programs, publishing and knowledge sharing. Our esteemed faculty, composed of seasoned experts and researchers, ensures a learning experience that is insightful and practical. We specialize in policy development, implementation strategies, and monitoring and evaluation. At ADSC, learning is engaging and enjoyable. Our unique methodology includes talks, interactive exercises, games, video screenings, and lively seminar discussions, all in a comfortable and friendly environment. For more information, email us at info@adstudiescenter.com or call +234 912 039 2362. Visit our website www.adstudiescenter.com to explore our programs and upcoming events. Africa Development Studies Center, rethinking development for Africa. Jim Ovia, one of the most influential and successful businessmen in Nigeria, who has made a mark in the financial system. He is the founder and chairman of Zenith Bank, one of Africa's largest and most profitable banks. He has been described by Forbes Africa as the godfather of banking in Nigeria.
My name is Jim Ovia. I'm chairman of Zenith Bank, and I thank you all for listening to me.
This illustrious son of Africa was one of the financial leaders who revolutionized the banking sector in Nigeria. Let's take a close look into the life, background, career, and achievements of this enigma, Jim Ovia. Jim Ovia was born on November 4, 1951 in Agbo, Delta State, Nigeria, to a large family as the second son of Chief Obi Olihe of Agbobi in Delta State. Being one from a humble background, Jim attended local schools as he had lost his father at the tender age of 4. His widowed mother, together with his older brother, saw him through school. He had secondary education at Ika Grammar School in Agbo. Due to his interest in business and technology, he proceeded to the United States to study business administration at Southern University, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, USA, where he obtained a bachelor's degree in 1977. He furthered to University of Louisiana, Monroe, Louisiana, and bagged a master's degree in business administration in 1979. Jim Ovia is also an alumnus of the prestigious Harvard Business School. Jim Ovia worked briefly as a clerk in Union Bank in 1973 before proceeding for tertiary studies. Upon acquiring immense business knowledge from international institutions, he returned to Nigeria, his home country, and began a career in banking. He continued at this for years, working for banks such as Lion Bank, Merchant Bank of Africa, and International Merchant Bank. After many years in the banking industry, in 1990, Jim came together with some colleagues to found one of Africa's largest and most profitable bank, Zenith Bank. The bank was established with a vision to provide excellent customer service, innovative and technology-driven banking. Zenith Bank flourished as it drew customers who sought excellence in financial services. What started with an asset of $4 million and about 50 staff has grown into over $24 billion in assets and shareholders' funds of more than $3 billion as of June 2022. Zenith Bank is listed on the Nigerian Stock Exchange and London Stock Exchange. Jim Ovia served as Zenith Bank's Chief Executive Officer and Managing Director from 1990 to 2010, and then Chairman from 2010 to 2014. After a brief break, he returned as Chairman of the bank in 2016 and remains so till date. Under his leadership, Zenith Bank has grown to become one of the leading banks in Nigeria and Africa, standing tall among some of Nigeria's first-generation banks of repute, a feat rare for second-generation banks established in a time of tension between military and civilian regimes and economic instability.
We will build our own roads to our branches if we're building branches in some cities, towns where the roads are not good enough. We have also bought power plants, generating sets to power electricity into our building. When we do all this, we also even had dug borehole to supply water to the building. When we do all this, what I personally call it is BYOI, bring your own infrastructure or build your own infrastructure.
Jim Ovia served as Zenith Bank's Chief Executive Officer and Managing Director from 1990 to 2010, and then Chairman from 2010 to 2014. After a brief break, he returned as Chairman of the bank in 2016 and remains so till date. Under his leadership, Zenith Bank has grown to become one of the leading banks in Nigeria and Africa, standing tall among some of Nigeria's first-generation banks of repute, a feat rare for second-generation banks established in a time of tension between military and civilian regimes. Zenith Bank has diversified its services to include insurance, pensions, stockbroking, and investment banking. The bank has won awards and recognition for its performance, governance, innovation, and social responsibility, inspired by its chairman's belief in giving back to community.
Really, it's my special pleasure, my honor indeed, for this opportunity offered by AAI to be awarded in the category of Business Leadership Award for 2017.
As an entrepreneur, Jim Ovia has made investments in sectors other than banking. They include oil and gas, telecommunication, real estate, power generation, media, and most recently, education. He is the founder and chancellor, James Hope University, Lekki, Lagos State, which has been approved by the National Universities Commission, NUC, to offer postgraduate degrees in business courses. Jim Ovia is a man who believes in giving back to society. He has engaged in philanthropic works through his foundations, Mankind United to support total education, MUSTE, and Youth Empowerment, ICT Foundation. These foundations award scholarships to indigenous students and promote information and communication technology in Nigeria through various initiatives. Ovia has made donations towards courses and institutions. They include Nigerian Investment Promotion Commission, NIPC, Nigerian Internet Group, NIG, Lagos State University, and National Information Technology Advisory Council, just to mention a few. In recognition of his contributions, Jim Ovia is a recipient of many honors and awards. In 2012, the University of Benin awarded him an honorary doctorate degree. Former President Muhammadu Buhari in 2022 conferred him with the national honor of the Commander of the Order of the Federal Republic, CFR. Also in 2022, Jim Ovia was conferred with the National Productivity Order of Merit, NPOM award by the federal government of Nigeria. Jim Ovia is a proud member of the World Economic Forum, the Nigerian Economic Summit Group, and the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria. He is also a member of several boards and councils.
We can't afford to lose depositors' money. We can't afford to lose money that belongs to stakeholders. So you must structure your industry in such a way that the best and nothing but the best are there.
As chairman of Zenith Bank with more than 9% stake, Jim Ovia in 2015 was estimated by Forbes to have a net worth of $550 million. This net worth obviously has been surpassed since then. Jim Ovia, as a business person, founded 5 companies. They are Zenith Bank PLC, the Quantum Group, Phone Communications, Quantum Luxury Properties, Civic Center Towers, and Cyberspace Network. Jim is member, Honorary International Investors Council. Kay Ovia is CEO, Quantum Markets Limited, a firm that offers stock brokerage services. She sits on the board of several organizations and is chairman, board of directors of Cyberspace Limited, a leading software engineering company. Cyberspace Limited is one of the pioneers in provision of internet services in Nigeria, providing network and software services. Kay, being at the head of a tech giant in Nigeria, teamed up with her husband, Jim, to strategically deploy robust IT infrastructure at Zenith Bank, which resulted in the development of digital products and technology-driven banking in Nigeria. Kay is an alumnus of Enugu State University of Technology, ESUT, where she holds an MBA in management. She is much given to philanthropy, with several initiatives to transform lives, particularly those of the underprivileged. One of her projects targeted at children and youths, Star Rising Talent Hunt, aims at and she's test with family on Republic. The book magazine that is shot from and again to become a global business icon while providing insight on how to conquer challenges in African markets, taking advantage of the opportunities. The man, Jim Ovia, is a firm believer of Africa being a continent abundant with natural and human resources. He has constantly pitched the continent as a land filled with investment opportunities in international business forums such as the Harvard Business School Annual Africa Business Conference, Bloomberg Global Business Forum, Commonwealth Business Forum, and the World Economic Forum, where he has been invited to participate and even deliver keynote address. Jim Ovia remains one of the pride of Africa and a great contributor to Nigeria's economy and the financial landscape in Africa.
The world of business is one filled with men and women willing to die with risk